You know what carrot juice cost me? I have to work the first hour every day just for your goddamn carrot juice. Sorry. Henry by Charles Bukowski, chapter 35. I discovered the La Cienega Public Library. I got a library card. The library was near the old church down on West Adams. It was a very small library, and there was just one librarian in it. She was class, about 38, but with pure white hair pulled tightly into a bun behind her neck. Her nose was sharp, and she had deep green eyes behind rimless glasses. I feel that she knew everything. I walked around the library looking for books. I pulled them off the shelves, one by one, but they were all tricks. They were very dull. There were pages and pages of words that didn't say anything, or if they did say something, they took too long to say it, and by the time they said it, you already were too tired to have it matter at all. I tried book after book. Surely, out of out of all those books, there was one. Each day I walked down to the library at Adams and La Brea, and there was my librarian, stark and infallible and silent. I kept pulling the books off the shelves. The first real book I found was by a fellow named Uyukton Sinclair. His sentences were simple and he spoke with anger. He wrote with anger. He wrote about the hop banks of Chicago. He came right out and said things plainly. Then I found another author. His name was Sinclair Lewis, and the book was called Main Street. Built back to the layers of hypocrisy that covered people. Only, only he seemed to lack patience. And I went back for more. I read each book in a single evening. I was walking around one day, sneaking glance at my librarian when I came upon a book with the title "Bow Down to Wood and Stone." Now, that was good, because that was what we were all doing. At last, some fire. I opened the book. It was very Josephine Lawrence, a woman that was all right. Anybody could find knowledge. I opened the page, but they were like many of others books, milky, obscure, tiresome. I replaced the book, and while uh, and my hand was there, I reached for a book nearby. It was by another Lawrence. I opened the book at random and began reading. It was about a man at piano, how false it seemed at first, but I kept reading. The man at the piano was troubled. His mind was saying things, dark and curious things. The lines on the page were pulled tight, like a man screaming, but not "Joe, where are you?" More like "Joe, where is anything?" This Lawrence of the tight and bloody line. I had never been told about him. Why a secret? Why wasn't he advertised? I read a book a day. I read all the D.H. Lawrence in the library. My librarian began to look at me strongly as I checked out the books. "How are you today?" she would ask. That I was so good. I felt as if I had already gone to be with her. I read all the books by D.H. and they led to others. To H.D., the poets, and Huxley, the youngest of the Huxleys, Lawrence friends, Inner came rushing at me. One book led to the next. Those passos came along, not too good, really, but good enough. His trilogy about the USA took longer than a day to read. Dresser didn't work for me. Sherwood Anderson did. And then along came Hemingway. What a thrill. He knew how to lay down a line. It was a joy. Words weren't dull. Words were things that could make your mind hum. If you read them and let yourself feel the magic, you could live without pain, with hope, no matter what happened to you. But back at home, lights out, my father would scream. I was reading the Russians now, and reading Turgenev and working. My father's rule was the Allies were to be out by 8 p.m. He wanted to sleep so that he could be fresh and effective on the job the next day. His conversation at home was always about the job. He talked to my mother about his job from the moment he entered the door in the evenings until they sleep. He was determined to rise in the ranks. All right, that's enough of those goddamned books. Lights out. To me, this man who had come come into my life from nowhere, were my only chains. They were the only voice that spoke to me. All right, I will say. Then I took the reading lamp, crowned it under the blanket, pulled his pillow under there, and read each new book, propping it against the pillow under the quilt. It got very hot. The lamp got hot, and I had trouble breathing. I would leave the quilt for air. What's that? Do I see a light? Henry, are you lights out? I would quickly lower the quilt again and wait until I heard my father snoring. Turgenev was a very serious fellow, but he could make me laugh because a true first encounter can be very funny when someone else's throat is the same as your throat, and he seems to be saying it just for you. That's great. I read my books at night, like that, under the quilt with the overhead reading lamp, reading all those good lines while with suffocating. It was magic, and my father had found a job, and that was magic for him. Chapter 36. Back at Chelsea High, it was the same. One group of seniors had graduated, but they were replaced by another group of seniors with sport cars and expensive clothes. I was never comforted by them. They left me alone. They ignored me. They were busy uh, with the girls. They never spoke to the poor guys in or out of class. About a week into my second semester, I talked to my father over dinner. Look, I said, it's hard at school. You're giving me 50 cents a week, Lawrence. Can you make it $1? $1? Yes. He put a forkful of sliced pickled bits into his mouth and chewed. And he looked at me from under his curled up eyebrows. If I gave you $1 a week, that would mean $52 a year. That would mean I would have to work over a week on my job just so you could have an allowance. I didn't answer, but I thought, my God, if you think like that, item by item, then you can't buy anything. Bread, watermelon, newspapers, flour, milk, or shaving cream. I didn't say anymore because when you hate, you don't beg. Those rich guys uh, like a dart their cars in and out, swiftly sliding up burning rubber, their cars glistening in the sunlight as the girls guide her around. Places were a joke. They were all going somewhere to college. Classes were just a routine laugh. They got breaks. You seldom saw them with books. You just saw them burning more rubber, running from the court with their cars full of squealing and laughing girls. I watched them with my 50 cents in my pocket. I didn't even uh, know how to drive a car.